In this latest Patreon video, we're going to examine 30 recovery shots. These are shots designed to get you back in line when you're left with an awkward shot on your object ball. These are shots that you not only have to be familiar with, but you also have to be able to execute them successfully when the time comes. So I'll be including an ebook that has the exact location of the cue ball and object ball so you can practice on your own table. The ebook also has more examples that aren't in the video. So if you're ready, let's get started. In this first shot, we need to get from the 2 ball to the 3 ball. The problem is that we're at an awkward angle on the 2 ball since we can't go 1 rail for a position, and 2 rails heads toward this side rail. This is the typical recovery shot that comes up quite a bit. And the key to this shot is pocketing the object ball and having the cue ball strike the end rail near the corner pocket, which will send the cue ball higher up on the other side rail, sending it to the end rail for shape on the 3. If the cue ball hits too far away from the corner pocket, now this becomes the cue ball's path, which may leave you a difficult shot. So when shooting these types of shots, it's a combination of running English and being able to stun the cue ball so it strikes close to the corner pocket. Here I've lined up a row of blocker balls. The goal is to send the cue ball around the balls and toward the end rail. When you first practice this shot, start with the cue ball closer to the object ball, then gradually start moving the cue ball farther away. In this shot, we're straight in on the 2 ball and we need to get to the 3 ball, which is at the other end of the table. If we do a straight draw shot, the cue ball will be sent toward this area here, which won't work. So in this shot, I'll have to use draw along with left side spin. The left side spin will widen the angle, sending the cue ball down the table. The key to this shot is making sure you strike the cue ball with maximum low along with the side spin. And you can see that when the cue ball strikes the side rail, the side spin widens the angle, missing the group of balls in the middle. In this drill, we need to get position on the 3 ball, which means the cue ball will have to end up in this area here. Make sure you get plenty of follow through when shooting this shot. If you struggle with this shot, move the end point to the middle of the table. Once you can consistently get to this target, start moving the target farther away. Eventually, you'll be able to send the cue ball all the way to the other end of the table. Here's a version of the previous shot. In this version, we're going to send the cue ball to this area here. When we shoot this shot, we're going to be brushing the end rail slightly with the object ball as it heads toward the corner pocket. This helps create a hair more angle, pushing the cue ball farther up table. When you first practice this shot, your goal should be to get the cue ball past the 2nd diamond line. Once you're consistent at this, try to reach the 3rd diamond line. In this layout, we need to get to this end of the table for shaping the 6 ball. The problem is that we're straight in on the 5 ball. When the cue ball is close to the object ball and both balls are close to a rail like this, it's not that difficult with a little practice to bounce the cue ball off the cushion, sending it to the other end of the table. The key to this shot is an elevated cue along with running English. When the cue stick is elevated, a firm stroke will pop the cue ball in the air after it contacts the object ball. You'll be aiming the object ball into this part of the pocket. When you practice this shot, concentrate on a controlled backstroke. Make sure you don't rush the stroke, causing a mishit. Once you get the hang of this shot, you'll become much more consistent at controlling the cue ball's speed. In this shot, we have a similar situation, but this time we're going to use force follow with running English. When we shoot this shot, we'll be aiming to cheat the pocket just a hair. So we'll be brushing the rail right around here with the object ball. This will create a little more angle for the cue ball to help move it up table. When you practice this shot, if you can send the cue ball toward the 3rd diamond on the side rail, that's pretty good. If you're playing on a table with forgiving pockets, you may be able to send the cue ball down to the 2nd or 1st diamond. In this layout, we're on the 5 ball, we need to end up in this area for shape on the 6 ball. The problem is that we're straight in on the 5 ball. Just like the previous shot, if the object ball is near the side rail, you can cheat the pocket by brushing the object ball along the side rail around here. This creates the angle you'll need to move the cue ball away from the side rail. When you shoot this shot, it's not about power, it's about applying a good smooth stroke to the cue ball. And you won't be cheating the pocket very much. Instead of aiming straight at the cushion here, you'll be changing the aim slightly to here. And it won't take much to send the cue ball away from the side rail. When you practice this shot, first try placing 2 blocker balls here and try to draw around them. Once you become consistent at this, place another blocker ball on the line and try to draw the cue ball around them. Keep adding blocker balls to increase the difficulty. Once you get to around 6 balls, you may have to reduce the speed of the cue ball to move the cue ball around the balls. Here's a shot that sometimes comes up in a game. Once again, I'm straight in on the object ball and I need to get to this area for shape on the 3 ball. The problem is that I can't go forward or backward. In this shot, I'm going to be aiming with maximum right spin and an angled cue, similar to a Massey shot. This shot is much easier when the cue ball is near the rail, since the rail gives us a higher angle to strike down on the cue ball. And don't try to power the shot when you first try it. If you strike the cue ball too firmly, the cue ball will jump forward. Concentrate on a nice smooth stroke and hitting the cue ball with maximum right. You'll find it won't take much effort to move the cue ball up table. When you practice this shot, make sure the cue ball is close to the rail. You can perform this shot when the cue ball isn't near the rail, but it is much tougher to execute. Practice sending the cue ball toward the middle of the table. Here's an interesting shot that will come up every once in a while. In this shot, we need to play a position for the 2 ball in the lower right corner pocket. The problem is that we're on the wrong side of the 1 ball pocket line. But if we use high action along with left side spin, we can force the cue ball down to this end of the table. This shot works best when the object ball is close to the side rail and the cue ball is close to the object ball's pocket line. If we have too much angle on the object ball, we can no longer force the cue ball down table. When you practice this shot, set up a row of blocker balls along the first diamond of the end rail. The goal is to send the cue ball toward the end rail between the blocker balls and side rail. If you start getting consistent at this shot, move the roll half a diamond closer to the side rail. Here's a shot that comes up quite often. In this situation, I'm on the 1 ball, but I'm on the wrong side of the 1 ball pocket line to play position for the 2 ball. The goal in this shot is to hold the cue ball for the 2 ball. If you shoot this shot with a normal stroke, the cue ball will head in this direction. But if you use low action, the low action minimizes the angle and helps kill the cue ball. And you can also use the left side spin to throw the ball into the corner pocket. Now there's even more angle on the object ball. At this angle, we're going to be using draw with left side spin. The left side spin will help throw the ball, and the draw will slow the cue ball down. When you practice this shot, line up a row of stripes along this line. The goal is to pocket the object ball without striking this row of balls. When you shoot this shot, use a short stroke and choke up on the cue stick. Move the bridge hand closer to the cue ball. And even though you're going to be using a short backstroke, make sure you accelerate through the cue ball. Here's a great shot for moving the cue ball around blocker balls. In this example, we're shooting the 3 ball, we need to get position for the 4 ball in the top right corner pocket. The problem is that these 2 balls are preventing me from drawing the cue ball back for shape in the 4 ball. Even though these balls are blocking the draw shot, we can still use a draw stroke to get around the balls. All it takes is a slight elevation of the cue stick. This causes the cue ball to jump forward slightly when it contacts the object ball, allowing it to go around the blocker balls. And if you really stroke it well, you can bring the cue ball back to the side rail. Here's a similar shot, except the cue ball is a little farther away from the object ball. I need to play shape for the 2 ball on the side rail, but the 10 ball is blocking my path for a draw shot. Since my cue ball is a little farther away from the object ball than the last example, I'm going to elevate my cue just a little bit more and make sure I strike the cue ball with low action. When you practice this shot, make sure you have blocker balls which prevent a normal draw shot. Also, put a line of blocker balls across the middle of the table. The goal is to send the cue ball between both sets of blocker balls. In this shot, we ended up on the wrong side of the 5-ball pocket line since we need to end up at the other end of the table for shape on the 6-ball. In this shot, we'll be using low left to go 5 rails for a position. This is definitely a shot that requires practice since we're using side spin and a firm stroke. If the 6-ball is over here, we can simplify the shot by using center ball to go 3 rails. And if you need to take the side pocket out of play, strike the cue ball a little lower. This will force the cue ball to hit higher up on the side rail, which will send it toward the 3rd diamond. When you practice this shot, line up some blocker balls around here. The goal is to send the cue ball to the end rail and around the blocker balls. If you struggle with this shot, move the cue ball closer to the object ball until the shot starts to become easier. Next, line up a row of balls about a diamond from the side rail. The goal on this drill is to go 3 rails and end up near the side rail, just using center. You can also go 5 rails using center low, but you'll have to use a firmer stroke than when you were using side spin. For many players, this may be an easier way to shoot this type of shot.
Top right corner pocket. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water.
What's he going to do here, Jim? It's a very difficult shot. Whoa, what was that?
Listen, I'm going to have to throw my eyes away because what I've just seen defied the laws of physics. Listen.
In this shot, we're not going to send the cue ball all the way back to the end rail like Corey Deuel did. Instead, we're going to send the cue ball to the 2nd diamond on this side rail. And when you first try the shot, you may only get to the 3rd diamond or the side pocket. But the more you practice this shot, the more action you're going to get on the cue ball. If you find yourself missing the shot over and over again, keep track of where the object ball is striking the rail. Most players, when they miss a shot, will come up a bit short. So if this is happening to you, just aim to slightly overcut the ball and see if that works for making the shot. When you're doing any of these drills, it's important that you keep track of where you are missing. This will help you fine-tune your aim on each shot. And when you practice this shot, start with the cue ball closer to the object ball. Then as you get more consistent at the shot, move the cue ball farther away. And this is true of any of the shots that you're practicing. If you struggle with a certain shot, keep making the shot easier until you become more consistent. Then gradually start moving the cue ball farther away. In this shot, we have a blocker ball which is preventing us from going forward to the end rail and back up for the 3-ball. So in this situation, we would draw the cue ball back to the side rail with right spin, going 3 rails for a position on the 3. In this scenario, we need to play a position for the 4-ball in the bottom right corner pocket. So we need to end up in this area here. So in order to end up in our position area, we would need to strike the side rail higher up around here. We're going to be using low action with right spin. And when you practice this shot, make sure you give yourself a target for the cue ball. I'll first practice hitting targets along the end rail. The key to hitting these targets is using the correct amount of draw and side spin. As the target gets closer to the corner pocket, you'll need to strike higher up on the side rail. Keep practicing this shot until you can develop a feel for how much draw you're going to need for each target. In this shot, we're on the wrong side of the 1-ball pocket line since we need to play shape for the 2-ball in the corner pocket. But if we use left side spin, we can straighten the cue ball's path off the bottom side rail. The reason this works is because we're not hitting that much of the one ball, so the cue ball has almost all of its side spin by the time it reaches the end rail, which straightens the path. And you can also shoot this shot with maximum left. This will cause the cue ball to come back toward the side rail and spin down. For some players, this may be an easier way to strike the ball. Here's another example where this shot comes in handy. In this game of 8-ball, I ended up with a funny angle on my last solid, and I have to play the 8-ball in this corner pocket. But just using maximum left, the cue ball holds up nicely for the 8-ball. And when you practice this shot, set up a wall of blocker balls about a diamond from the side rail. The goal is to keep the cue ball between the blocker balls and the side rail. Start with the cue ball closer to the object ball until you become more consistent at this shot. Then gradually start moving the cue ball farther away. This is an important shot that comes up quite a bit, so it's definitely something you'll want to have in your arsenal. Here's an awkward shot that comes up every once in a while. In this situation, the object ball is frozen on the rail and the cue ball is just off the rail. Even though we're pretty much straight in on the object ball, we can still go 3 rails for shaping the 3 ball. We're going to be using low with 2 tips of right spin. We're going to be aiming to strike about 80% of the object ball. This shot requires plenty of draw and side spin to send the cue ball past half table. This shot will also work when both balls are on the rail, preferably close to each other as in this situation here. When you first practice this shot, start with the cue ball about half a diamond from the object ball, then gradually start moving the cue ball farther away as the shot gets easier for you. Keep practicing until you can eventually send the cue ball all the way to the second side rail. Here's a similar situation. The cue ball and object ball are both frozen on the rail and we need to play position for the 2 ball in the corner pocket. In this situation, we'll be going forward with left side spin. We're going to slightly cheat the pocket and the left side spin will spin the cue ball away from the end rail. The key to this shot is learning where you need to aim on the object ball. Also make sure you apply at least 2 tips of running English. When you practice this shot, start with the cue ball about half a diamond away from the object ball. Your goal should be to cross the 3rd diamond line. Once you become more consistent at this shot, move the cue ball about a diamond away from the object ball. You don't need much speed with these shots, but you do need plenty of side spin. Now we have the same situation, except this time I can't go forward and I can't go backward. And I need to play a position for the 2 ball in the side pocket. When both balls are frozen on the rail like this and they're about a half diamond apart, you can shoot the shot with center ball and cheat the pocket just a hair. This will force the cue ball away from the rail. When you practice this shot, your goal should be to cross the 2nd diamond line. Really take your time aiming and don't try to overpower the shot. If you're playing on a table with forgiving pockets, you may be able to send the cue ball to the center of the table. In this layout, we ended up on the wrong side of the 4-ball pocket line since we need to end up at this end of the table for the 5-ball. But if we use high left with an elevated cue, this will cause the cue ball to slightly hop when it strikes the object ball. When it lands back on the table, the left spin sends the cue ball to the left toward our position area. When you practice this shot, your goal should be to cross the 2nd diamond line. As you improve with this shot, you may even be able to send the cue ball near the end rail. Next, move the cue ball farther away. Take your time when aiming and don't rush the backstroke. If you start missing the pocket, keep track of what side of the pocket the object ball is striking. Then start fine-tuning your aim. In this layout, we need to get to this area here for shaping the 2 ball. The problem is that we're on the wrong side of the 1-ball pocket line. If I shoot this shot with high right, the cue ball heads in this direction, which won't work. But if we shoot with high right and an elevated cue, now the cue ball is sent toward our position area. Similar to the last shot, since we elevated the cue ball hops a bit when striking the object ball. Then the right spin helps move the cue ball slightly to the right off its natural path. When you practice this shot, your goal should be to get within a diamond of the end rail. Once again, if you're missing the pocket, keep track of what side of the pocket you're missing. Then make a subtle adjustment in your aim. If you really strike the cue ball well, you can even send the cue ball all the way to the end rail. Here's another version of the shot. In this situation, I've ended up on the wrong side of the 2-ball pocket line, and I need to get to this area here for the 3-ball. If I use just high left, I can send the cue ball here, but I'm still snookered on the 3-ball. But if I elevate my cue stick and shoot the cue ball with high left, we can see that the cue ball reacts much differently and is sent farther down the rail. The key to this shot is a controlled backstroke and good follow through. When you practice this shot, your goal should be to send the cue ball toward the second diamond on the side rail. Make sure that when you're shooting the shot that the cue ball hops when it strikes the object ball. If you shoot it really well, you can even send the cue ball toward the first diamond. In this layout, we're on the 2-ball, but we need to play a position for the 3-ball at the other end of the table. The problem is that we have 2 blocker balls near the 2-ball, which are preventing us from getting our shape in the 3-ball. But if we elevate the cue stick and strike the cue ball below center, the cue ball will hop forward over the blocker balls, then the low spin will send the cue ball up table. When you practice this shot, start with the cue ball and object ball fairly close to each other until you develop a feel for the shot. Then move the cue ball farther away. At this distance, you'll need a pretty firm stroke. In this game of 8-ball, I'm on my last solid, but it may be very difficult to play shape on the 8-ball due to the stripes near the corner pocket. But if I elevate my cue stick and shoot a little above center, the cue ball should hop over the stripes. The key to this shot is striking the object ball thin with a smooth stroke. In this layout, I need to pocket the 4-ball and get shape for the 8-ball, but once again the stripes are blocking my path. If I elevate my cue and use a touch of right spin, the cue ball will be sent up table toward the 8-ball. When you practice this shot, set up a row of blocker balls near the corner pocket and try to send the cue ball over these balls. Remember, don't try to overpower the shot. Since you'll be striking the object ball thin, it won't take much speed to hop over the obstacle balls. In this situation, we're on the wrong side of the 4-ball pocket line since the 5-ball is at this end of the table. The good news is that we have a 3-railer that doesn't require much of a stroke. At this angle, we're going to be striking the cue ball a little above center with 2 tips or more of right spin. When the cue ball hits the end rail, the right spin takes over and sends the cue ball back to the other end of the table. If you try this shot and your cue ball is heading more in this direction, then you need to use more right spin. When you practice this shot, place the cue ball at different angles to the object ball. As the angle to the object ball decreases, you'll have to use more of a stun shot with the right spin. Here's another situation where you would need to use this type of shot. In this layout, we're shooting the 2-ball and we need to play a position for the 3-ball in the corner pocket. At this angle, a rolling shot will send the cue ball toward the corner pocket. So we'll need to use low spin to stun the shot to the end rail, along with left spin, which will spin the cue ball back toward the middle of the table. Once again, practice this shot from different angles. In this situation, we're straight in on the 3-ball, we need to play a position for the 4-ball in the corner pocket. If the 7-ball weren't here, we may be able to follow with left spin into this area here. Since this option isn't available, we're going to have to draw back using right spin, leaving ourselves a high angle on the 4-ball. When you practice this shot, line up a row of blocker balls to send the cue ball around. As you become more consistent at this shot, move the blocker balls over even more. This shot requires a good draw stroke with at least 2 tips of right spin. This shot demonstrates the power of maximum side spin. In this layout, we're on the 1 ball, we need to send the cue ball to this area for shaping the 2 ball for the corner pocket. This shot requires a nice soft touch with plenty of right spin. As you become more consistent at this shot, move the cue ball to the next location. Really take your time aiming on this shot from this angle. If you strike the cue ball correctly, it won't take much speed to send the cue ball to the position area. And even though you're using a soft stroke with a short backstroke, you still need to accelerate through the cue ball. Here's a similar version of the last shot. In this layout, we need to pocket the 3 ball and play shape for the 4 ball in this corner pocket. At this angle, if we shoot the shot with high right, the cue ball will travel in this direction, leaving a tough shot on the 4 ball. So instead, we're going to be striking the cue ball below center with maximum right. This shot doesn't require much of a stroke, just a short backstroke and good acceleration. When you practice this shot, set up a row of blocker balls next to the object ball. The goal is to pocket the object ball and send the cue ball back to the in rail past the row of balls. In this example, we're straight in on the 3 ball and we need to get to the other end of the table for the 4 ball. Similar to an earlier shot, when the object ball is near the rail like this, you can cheat the pocket slightly, creating more angle for the cue ball. When shooting the shot, find where both balls are lined up to the pocket, then just slightly alter the aim. You won't need to cheat the pocket by much. In this example, we're once again straight in on the 3 ball, but this time the 4 ball is against the other side rail. Even though we're straight in on the 3 ball, we can still spin the cue ball to the other side rail. We'll be using high action with at least 2 tips of right spin. And if your cue ball isn't reaching the other side rail, then use a bit more right spin. Also, make sure you're getting plenty of high action on this shot. When you practice the first shot, your goal should be to send the cue ball across the half table line. Eventually, your goal on this shot should be to send the cue ball all the way to the other end rail. When practicing this shot, your goal should be to send the cue ball to the other side rail below the side pocket. In order to do this, you're going to need plenty of high action and a lot of right spin. This is a great shot that comes up quite often that once again uses maximum side spin. In this shot, we need to pocket the 1 ball and hold the cue ball in this area for shaping the 2 ball. If we just use center ball in this shot, the cue ball will head straight toward the middle of the table. But if we use maximum right, it will send the cue ball to the side rail, which helps slow down the cue ball's momentum. Now I've increased the angle on the object ball. At this angle, you really need to be precise in your aiming and the cue ball speed. When you practice this shot, your goal should be to end up below the 3rd diamond line. In this layout, we're on the 2 ball and we need to play shape for the 3 ball at the other end of the table. The problem is that we're on the wrong side of the 2 ball pocket line and we can't use follow with running English. So in this situation, we're going to be using draw with left side spin. If struck correctly, the cue ball should go 3 rails for a position. When you practice this shot, first practice without any blocker balls. Then challenge yourself by putting some blocker balls on the table. For instance, in this scenario, I need to send the cue ball around the blocker balls, so I'll need to ease up on my low spin. Now I'm going to send the cue ball to the end rail. In order to do this, I'll need to strike the end rail around here with at least 2 tips of left spin. In this layout, I'm on the 1 ball and I need to keep the cue ball in the same area for the 2 ball so I can play it in the corner pocket. The problem is that we have a severe angle on the 1 ball. If we shoot it with a soft speed, we can see that the cue ball heads toward the other side rail. But if we use low right, we can easily kill the cue ball in the same area as the 1 ball. This shot requires a very short backstroke with good acceleration. And it may be helpful for you to move your bridge hand closer to the cue ball and choke up on your cue stick. Here's another example of where this type of shot comes in handy. In this shot, we need to hold the cue ball near the end rail for shaping the 2 ball. If we use a soft rolling shot, we can see that the cue ball heads up table. But if we strike the cue ball with low left and a soft stroke, we get a much different result. When you first try this shot, your goal should be to stop the cue ball near the first diamond line. As you improve, try to stop the cue ball before the first diamond line. Remember to use a short backstroke with good acceleration.